of course, to the fires in New South Wales. And devastating bushfires have been burning through northern parts of the state, and they've claimed the lives of 2 people near Glen Innes. 7 other people are unaccounted for. Authorities are expecting that number to rise. At least 100 homes have been destroyed, including on the mid-north coast around Foster and the villages of Rainbow Flat, Wallaby Point, Hillville and Bobbin. 30 people have been injured, including 19 firefighters.
Unfortunately, what we saw yesterday were unprecedented fire conditions. As we stand today, there are more than 70 fires burning across the state, more than 40 uncontained, and at least 5 at emergency level. But what has been tragic in the last little while is the confirmation that 2 lives have been lost. There are at least 7 people unaccounted for, and I'm sorry to say that number can increase during the day. Our thoughts and prayers, of course, go to the families and loved ones of those 2 deceased persons. I'll ask the Commissioner to provide further details on that. But we do need to brace ourselves, and what is concerning is that the forecast weather conditions on Tuesday could mean that we're not through the worst of it.
Authorities warn more lives and property could be lost.
We could see more casualty and more loss as the details unfold. Across the fire grounds yesterday, as the Premier and the Minister have indicated, it was unprecedented for New South Wales to have so many fires burning at the emergency warning alert level. 17 concurrent fires were burning at the emergency warning alert level yesterday, and another 9 at the same time were burning at watch and act alert level, which were a number of fires out of a total of 99 burning across New South Wales at that point in time. Of those emergency warning fires, that's an indication that people, that property were being absolutely impacted or imminently impacted by all of those fires at the same time. There was a huge focus and a desperate focus to try and get firefighters, aircraft, emergency services to as many people in need as possible. But the reality is, and we've heard 000 calls, we've heard messages to our control centres, messages to our information line, that many people were calling in indicating that they were trapped or isolated and felt uncomfortable or frightened with what was surrounding them, but we simply couldn't get people, firefighters, aircraft or resources into some of these communities, and it took many hours to even make it through.
Dramatic recordings have been released of crews in trouble in the fire zone.
It's a negative. We've been trapped by a falling tree. Over. Okay, usually you're protecting you and your verbal, your curtains and stuff, your tent sprinklers on, and say, here you go, copy. Keep clear, let us know how you're going. Yeah, copy that. We're engaging protection. Do what you can to overrun, let us know when it passes, and that you're safe, copy. Will do, activating emergency procedures.
Total fire bans are in place for much of the state today, and the fire danger rating is at very high. We'll take you to these live pictures now on the mid-north coast there. A few moments ago we could see some of the devastation that is taking place across parts of the mid-north coast. Areas like Foster, Taree, Rainbow Flat, Harrington and Bobbin. We do know that 100 homes have been lost, but that number, it is going to be pretty fluid over the coming days while we wait for inspections to take place. At the moment across some of those areas, it is simply too dangerous to get close enough to assess. We'll bring in Emily Burley now, joining us live from Darrawank on the state's mid-north coast. Emily, you're at a roadblock after being forced to turn back from Taree. Describe to us the situation there.
Well, Charlotte, as you said, we are at a roadblock at Darrawank on the Lakes Way, which is an alternate route. The Pacific Highway also blocks, so at the moment there is no way north. We did start the morning in Foster. We headed a little bit further north a short time ago. We were allowed to pass through this roadblock here at Darrawank, where we went to Rainbow Flat. We saw some of the devastation there, a lot of ground burnt and some structure damage. We then headed further north towards Taree, but a couple of kilometres out of the town, the road was closed by fire, so we were forced to turn back to where we are now. Now, as we have been reporting, 2 people have been confirmed dead and 7 are unaccounted for. A body was found this morning in a burnt-out car near Glen Innes, as well as a woman who was taken to hospital yesterday with severe burns. Unfortunately, she did not survive those injuries. There are 2 emergency-level fires burning in the state at the moment, but across the state, close to 80 fires burning in total, and around half of those are uncontained. Fire authorities say the level of fire activity is unprecedented. At one point yesterday, there were 17 emergency fires burning. That's the most the state has ever seen at any one time. In fact, fire authorities say that we saw more bushfire activity yesterday alone than we ever have, or that we have during last year's bushfire season in total. So certainly very scary conditions out here.
That is scary. I think the record before we had 17 emergency warnings at once was around 11, so it just shows the intensity of yesterday's conditions. Emily, thousands of people have been evacuated, and that's including more than 150 inmates from a correctional facility.
That's right. A short time ago, 164 inmates from Glen Innes Correctional Facility were evacuated. They have been moved to Grafton Correctional Facility, where I am told they are safe and well there. But thousands of people, as you said, across the state where those emergency bushfires are burning, people are still very much in danger and are being told to act now to protect their lives. There are evacuation centres that have been set up, but the RFS is urging people who are affected or who have loved ones who might be in the area to register with the Red Cross so that people can be accounted for. There are so many fires burning and they're such dangerous fires that the RFS simply can't help everybody. So if people can register with the Red Cross, that will go a long way towards helping people. More than 100 homes, as we've heard, have been lost, as well as infrastructure like schools, bridges, and we've also heard reports of the Rainbow Flat RFS station being burnt down. Unfortunately, fire authorities say that number is likely to grow. Also, the number of people injured and fatalities could possibly grow as well. Now, conditions are a little bit better than yesterday. It's not quite as hot, but it is certainly very dry and windy today still. And as we have heard, that fire danger is likely to pick up again and be very bad on Tuesday.
Right, Emily, thank you very much for the update there, joining us throughout the day on this fire front and the conditions. Now, as I mentioned, 2 people have died in the Kangawalla fire near Glen Innes. The town's Mayor, Carol Sparks, spoke about the devastation to the community a short time ago.
We're all in shock. Many people are still coming to terms with losing everything that they've got. People have fought very hard all night to save their houses. We can't get access to our homes at the moment because the bridge to the community is cut off and blown up, actually, in the fire. We've lost our school. We are absolutely devastated. I'm being taken down today to have a look at the remains of my house, and we are still looking for people. So just put a call out for anybody that comes from Waitalaba that is not there. Could they please give the RFS Control Centre a call to say they're safe? We're still looking for people. We've got a dead person, and, you know, it's just devastating. The climate change reality is here, and the wall of fire that hit us yesterday was unreal. It was just unprecedented, and people couldn't get to help. We've got over 100 people in our small village, but in the whole electorate we're on fire. It's to the east, to the north, to the west of us, and depending on the weather conditions today, we're still under threat. I'll ask everybody, if they want to make donations, take them to the showgrounds. That's the evacuation centre. We've got people at the hospital that are going to stay there today because they're so shocked. And people are offering accommodation, which is wonderful. If they could just ring council or ring the RFS for information, I'd be very grateful, and my thoughts go out to everybody. People were still trying to protect their house. The wind was unprecedented. It was bad all night, and so they were fighting to protect their houses. My neighbours are in hospital at the present moment. My thoughts go out to them, and also they heard my house blowing up. They heard loud explosions coming from my house, so I'm going down to see the damage.
In the Blue Mountains, an emergency level fire that has burned dangerously close to homes has been downgraded. We spoke with Mayor Mark Greenhills. He says they're lucky considering their circumstances.
Yes, good news overnight. I've just spoken to the incident controller. Containment lines have gone in across the evening. At the moment, they are holding, but we still have a very long day ahead. Residents were in an evacuation centre last night. I understand that most, if not all, were found accommodation overnight. They'll be kept informed. And right now, this morning, they're preparing for a very long day ahead. I spent a couple of hours last night at the evacuation centre just moving around and talking to families. In the Blue Mountains, of course, we've been through this before, and that Blue Mountain spirit comes out. People's first question is about others, and then they ask about their own situation. So people are positive that, look, the love and respect that we have for our emergency services was confirmed again yesterday. The only reason we're not talking about lost property this morning is the incredible efforts of our emergency services, volunteers and paid services alike.